Mum of two beautiful boys, and I have Brody, who's 5, and Jackson, who's 3, and I did live streaming on my Facebook the other day, and I had a few people say that they're like, oh, you should do a YouTube channel, and I thought, what would I talk about? And to be honest, having been on YouTube a little bit lately, I have been looking for extra support when it comes to my eldest son, Brody. So he's going through the process of being diagnosed with autism. So we're not 100% whether he will be diagnosed with autism at the moment, or whether he will be just diagnosed with a sensory processing disorder. He's 5, so he's in Australia is too young to be diagnosed with auditory processing disorder at the moment. So the speech therapist and the occupational therapist are saying that is potentially on the cards as well. So for anyone in the same situation, you'll completely understand that this is probably one of the hardest things, if not the most hardest thing as a parent to go through. Obviously, my boys are happy and healthy, and having a child with any sort of difficulty it's hard for a parent. Your job as the parent, and especially as a mum, is to grow your baby, give birth to your baby, and as soon as you find out that you're pregnant, you go into protection mode as a mum, and you want the very best for your children. You want them to be happy and healthy and have everything in life that that they can have. You want them to have the best possible life that they can have. And for me, for Brody, I guess I've always thought there was something. Never knew really to what degree. Some days I was thinking, oh my gosh, he's definitely got autism, and other days it was like, oh, I'm not really sure. And I guess having a lot of people around us as well, say, he's just being a kid, he's just a kid, he's 2, that's what 2-year-olds do, or he's 3, that's what 3-year-olds do. And it got on through the time, and watching other people's children and the way that they develop, there were always some red flags for me, but they were very subtle in comparison. The autism spectrum is so broad, that for Brody it was lots of little subtle things, and I guess having my youngest son Jackson come through the same development leaps, and watching him and the way that he develops through is completely different. So all kids are different, none of them are the same, but when you watch 2 boys go through with the same parents, living in the same house, doing the same things, you notice a lot of difference once your youngest starts going through the development in a different way. And that led me to where we are now, in reaching out and trying to get some answers. And the process is it's grueling. Like, I'm gonna be completely honest, and I guess whether anybody watches this channel, or even if it just ends up being something that's just for me in some way, I guess, of having a diary and blogging it, to be able to look back and see how much progress we've made, it makes me feel better to talk about it, because I've spent way too long trying to just deal with it myself, and pretend a lot, I guess, that I'm fine and that I'm doing okay with it all. And yeah, if I'm being completely honest, like I'm not, and I have my own things to deal with too, like normal life, being a wife, being a good friend, being a good sister, being a good daughter, and always, even now, even though I know and I've learnt so much and I've come so far, being good to myself is always the thing that I put last. And this year, I guess I spent this year trying to make sure that, when it comes to what I'm trying to strive for Brody, if I don't be good to myself first, there's not enough of me to be able to be there for my family and to be able to be there for everybody else. Like, I need to be able to be there for myself first and to have a completely full cup so that I can then pour out and be there for the people in my life that need me the very most. And I've lost friendships from trying to juggle it all, because it's not possible to be 100% at everything and be there for everyone. So I've had a huge learning experience, and anyone that's going through what we're going through as a family, that would be probably my advice, is to sort of break it all right down into how are we going to tackle this when you're faced with it. We don't have an answer yet exactly either, so it does make it hard when you're tempering on which direction you're going in. But the process is not always so quick. We've been, now since the beginning of the year, we've been, we see a speech therapist every other week. We see an occupational therapist every other week. I'm speaking to someone for support from me. Brody's on the wait list to see a psychologist as well to deal with his anxiety. Multiple talks with teachers, principals as to, trying to get him settled into school, trying to adapt to mainstream schooling and whether that's the right decision or not. There's so many things that come into play when you're dealing with a child who has multiple development issues, and possibly autism. So yeah, I guess it might be something that other people like me, and other families are looking desperately for some help and some real life opinions on just how it is. Like, I would love, I guess, at times for the, especially I guess for the people who aren't as understanding and considerate as to what we go through. Like, I would love to put a GoPro on my head and spend the day, like on a normal morning and trying to get ready for school and, that sort of thing. Just letting people see exactly how hard it can be to get through the morning. And it's not about being negative. It's not about, it's not about looking for attention. It's nothing like that. It's just, you can't expect people to understand what it's like, but at the same time, all you really want when you're dealing with something like this is for people just to understand and try to understand the best that they can, that, it's okay as a mum to not put yourself in situations, or your family or your child in situations that is going to be overwhelming for all of you, especially you as a mum. I have found, for me, putting myself in a situation that is going to make me anxious, only makes it harder for Brody to get through the experience as well. So if I'm not feeling at a point where I'm feeling supported or comfortable, I don't put myself or him in the situation that we need to deal with it. Now, sometimes you have to. You've got no choice, and you have to. But it's being organised, being prepared for what could and couldn't happen within that experience for the day. Yeah, I guess my aim is to hopefully go on a journey of experiences, and people will either join the journey with me and maybe give me some, some ideas. Maybe, someone who's watching this may be where I was 12 months ago in, being told at kindy, it's probably a good idea that your son starts speech therapy. It's probably a good idea that, we keep an eye on a few things, and, it doesn't matter in your heart that you already know, like deep down in your heart and your gut, you already know these things about your child. Nobody knows your child better than you do. Nobody knows your child better than you do. And, within your immediate family, like, you all know how each other tick. And it doesn't matter how, like, for me, I've known for years that there is something. But having someone confirm your feeling is bittersweet. It really is bittersweet. It's a mixture of, thank God I'm not going crazy. Thank God someone else can see what I see. And then comes the aftermath of that, which is, wow, this is actually happening, which means it's on me. Like, I need to deal with this, and I need to be the one making decisions and making the plan of attack as to how I am going to support my child. And, for me, I went straight into educate myself as much as I possibly can on the basics of what I potentially could be dealing with. And yeah, it's a really bittersweet moment, and nobody can tell you how to feel at that moment, because how you feel is how you feel. Some people, I guess, can sort of switch on that positive, like, right, let's get this done. Let's tackle it. Let's do this. Some people probably fall in a complete heap on the floor. Some people were like me, always had a gut feeling, always knew that something wasn't quite right. Other people had no inkling to it, hadn't seen it, didn't know. And I can't imagine how that feels on the flip side. That would be so hard as well, like having someone broach the subject with you, and you through no fault of your own, had no inkling that there could be something like this that was going to get brought to your attention. Like, it's so intense, like, it really is. And my advice to anyone going through anything like this, with children, is be kind to yourself. And it's so easy. I'm still learning, let me tell you. I am still learning. Be kind to yourself first, as much as you possibly can, and only surround yourself with people who are prepared to take you, warts and all, with the good and the bad and the amazing days, and when you jump up and down and fist pump the air because your child got to school without a meltdown, and you know, things went pretty smooth and you literally do the drop off and there's a great day on the way, you can literally, you know, jump into your car after school drop off and be like, yes, over something like that. You know, for people that don't experience those things, it might be hard for them to understand it, but at least if they're trying to understand where you're at, those are the people that you need to surround yourself with. You know, and those people who, you know, I'm so lucky, the people that I've got around me, my school mums, my family, a couple of my very best friends, you know, that when I rock up on their doorstep and just lose it, because I have fought with Brody all day about going to school and dealt with his anxiety, and had him, you know, have him hit me or, you know, cry at me and beg me not to send him to school, you know, or he, you know, has a meltdown because he's worried about going to the movies, because he doesn't know what sort of popcorn is going to be there. You know, it can just be so intense, but, you know, surround yourself with people who are prepared to open the door, with understanding and open arms for you. When those days happen, as well as the days when everything's going great, then, you know, that's half the battle, is having an amazing network of people around you. Yeah, I'm probably gonna wrap it up for now because it's been nearly 17 minutes. But yeah, I'm gonna post a few more videos, and hopefully, if nothing else, it's something for me to look back on, like I said, and you know, I guess map the progress of how we go. It's the 25th of July 2016, and yeah, we're halfway through the school year. It's been just a huge challenge, school, going through the motions of getting Brody settled into school, and yeah, I guess it'll be great to be able to look back and see how far we've come with all the therapy and everything that we've just started getting into the swing of. And yeah, if nothing else, I can look back on that. If it ends up being something that gets watched by others and it can in any way help make someone's day even just that little tiny bit easier, or give you a laugh, or you know, you can get it out and cry and feel better by the end of a video, then hey, look, you know, that's awesome. I would be so honoured to be able to just help anyone get through a day, and come out the other side a little bit better for it. So yeah, I'll sign off for now. And yeah, maybe we'll see you on our next video. Thanks. Bye.